Welcome back to another review of Eerie, Indiana. If you're new here, I've been doing a review on every single episode of Eerie, Indiana. In this video, I'll be reviewing episode 5, America's Scariest Home Videos. So let's get into it. This episode originally aired on October 20th, 1991, and was again directed by Sam Pillsbury, who directed Free Willy 3. This episode starts off with Marshall and Simon in the attic, getting ready to go trick-or-treating on Halloween, but also gearing up just in case they run into some weirdness.
Clean underwear? In case we get scared.
They put on their masks of George and Gorby and head downstairs. On their way out, they say goodbye to Harley, which is Simon's little brother, which Marshall's mom was keeping an eye on until they got back. Harley is played by actual twins Christian and Joseph Cousins. Later on, it's revealed that Harley's full name is Harley Schwarzenegger Holmes. In 1990, the twins both starred in Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fun fact, Omri Katz, who plays Marshall Teller, played John Ross Ewing in Dallas in 1978, and Dallas Jr. Returns in 1996, while Christian and Joseph Cousins, who played Harley, both played his cousin, Bobby Gibson Ewing, in Knots Landing in 1979, and Knots Landing Back to the Cul-de-sac in 1997. As Simon is telling Harley to behave for Mrs. Teller, the phone rings. Marshall and Simon head towards the door to give some trick-or-treaters some candy before they leave. Just then, Marshall's mom informs them that Marshall's dad's car died again and that she has to go get him, and tells Marshall and Simon they have to stay with Harley until she gets back, which makes Marshall upset, of course, because they had places to go and things to do. He tells his mom to make Cindy watch him, but Marshall's mom tells him that Cindy is busy studying for a test upstairs. Marshall's mom then leaves, and Marshall and Simon are bummed they can't go out trick-or-treating. As Marshall and Simon sit on the couch upset about their Halloween night, Marshall comes up with an idea for making $10,000 using Harley. Marshall tells Simon he has a plan. It's pretty much them filming Harley trying to get him to do something funny and send it to America's Funniest Home Videos. Simon likes the idea and goes with it. Marshall introduces them to a science experiment, Godzilla and Mothra, which are his lizards. Marshall is studying insanity in the animal kingdom. Marshall tells Simon to operate the camera. And then Marshall tells Harley if he'd like to hold Godzilla, which Harley says yes. As Simon is filming, Marshall implies Harley should taste the lizard. As Harley opens his mouth, Simon freaks out and cuts. Marshall then tells Simon he wasn't going to let him swallow it. As Marshall is looking for Godzilla, Harley picks up the other lizard, Mothra, and puts it down Marshall's pants. This makes Marshall freak out as he's trying to get Mothra out of his pants. He finally gets the lizard out and puts him back in his tank. Simon says it's probably not a good idea anymore, and they decide to do something safe until Marshall's parents come home. So they turn on the TV and watch an old classic mummy movie. Marshall hooks up the camcorder to tape the movie. Simon was ball and chaining Harley so he can't go anywhere. Marshall tells Harley to behave or the mummy will come and get him. Marshall and Simon are in the kitchen eating popcorn, thinking if lizards like popcorn too. It then cuts to Harley watching the mummy movie. He starts to mess around with the camcorder and flips through the channels with the remote. He then randomly bites the remote, which makes the camcorder have an explosion and transports Harley into the mummy movie. Marshall and Simon hear the explosion and go investigate the noise. They're looking for Harley. They notice the ball and chain still there, but Harley is gone. Simon then notices Harley in the TV. Simon begins to tell Harley to get out, but Harley obviously can't hear him. Marshall then asks if Harley's in the TV, then where's the mummy? Just then, the mummy bursts through the living room door, making Marshall and Simon scream and run out the door. It cuts to Harley in the movie, not enjoying his visit in TV land. Outside, Marshall's freaking out, and Simon smacking some sense into Marshall. Marshall then says that Harley and Cindy are still in there, that they have to go back and get them. Simon then just tells him it's too dangerous. Then a group of trick-or-treaters are coming up to Marshall's house. The trick-or-treaters knock on Marshall's door. Marshall and Simon hide outside, scared of what might open the door. Just then the door opens. Marshall and Simon fear the worst. Then it's revealed to be Cindy. She gives out candy to the kids and asks Marshall why he's outside and why he's not watching Harley. Just then we see the mummy creeping down the stairs behind Cindy. Cindy turns around to be frightened by the mummy. Cindy tells him that he's too old to be trick-or-treating and guides him out the door. He then says bye. Marshall and Simon go back inside and Cindy asks where Harley is, and Marshall tells her that he's in the TV. which naturally Cindy doesn't believe, tells Marshall not to disturb her anymore, and heads back upstairs. Then cuts to Marshall's parents in the middle of nowhere trying to get Edgar's car running again. It cuts back to Marshall and Simon, and they see that Harley is causing trouble on the Mummy set. Simon then tries to discipline Harley through the TV, but it obviously doesn't work. They wonder how Harley got in there in the first place, and notice the TV remote has teeth marks on it. Simon confirms the teeth marks are in fact Harley's. Just then the doorbell rings, and it's the Mummy again, trying to get in. Marshall tells Simon to do the Dead End Kids Plan 39 on the Mummy, which is basically them tripping the Mummy and bashing his head with a shovel. But when they do that, they hear the Mummy say ouch. It then cuts to Marshall's parents in the car, cuddling and reminiscing about their relationship, then getting bombed with eggs and shaving cream. Back at home, Marshall and Simon have tied up the Mummy, ready to unwrap his face. Simon is a little worried, questioning if there's a curse, but Marshall just wants to take a peek. They unwrap the Mummy to reveal Boris von Orloff, the actor. Tony J played Sir Boris von Orloff. He's done a ton of voiceover work, but I remember him playing Dr. Lipschitz from Rugrats. Sadly, he passed away in 2006. But his character on Eerie, Indiana is a clear parody of English horror actor Boris Karloff, who starred in the classic movie The Mummy. Anyway, Sir Boris introduces himself properly to Marshall and Simon. Then Marshall tells Sir Boris that he's been dead for the past 50 years. It hits Marshall that Boris is not a real mummy, but just an actor, and apologizes for hitting him on his head. Boris asks where he is, in which Marshall then answers Eerie, Indiana. Boris then asks how he came to be there. Marshall doesn't know, but has some ideas on how to get him back. They all notice Harley ruining Boris's Mummy movie. Marshall then wonders if the videotape might have some answers because it's been recording everything that happened. So Marshall rewinds the tape, hoping to see how Harley got into the TV. He sees Harley biting the TV remote control. They get things ready for Boris to go back. Simon gets ready to shove the remote into Boris's mouth, but Boris seems to have second thoughts. But Simon shoves the remote into his mouth. Time seems to be running out because the movie is about to be over and Harley is destroying the set. Then the cable goes out. Then the doorbell rings with more trick-or-treaters. Marshall answers the door while Simon finds the right channel. Marshall gives the kids candy but notices his parents coming in the driveway. They find the right channel as Marshall's parents come up to the door. Boris bites down on the remote, zapping him back to the TV and Harley back just in time as Marshall's parents walk in. They ask if Harley was any trouble, and Marshall says he was a saint. And Marshall notices the TV and sees Sir Boris on the beach enjoying himself. Back in the attic, Marshall and Simon are destroying the tape with scissors, and Marshall says Sir Boris finally got that vacation he wanted. Well, that concludes episode 5 of Eerie, Indiana. This episode was perfect for Halloween. It incorporated a lot of classic things from it, like the mummy and the trick-or-treating, and of course the fog in every scene. I enjoyed this episode and definitely is one of the most memorable episodes. I enjoyed doing this review and let me know if you guys remember this episode. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.